Welcome everyone. I'm here with the cycling team, Debbie Doherty and Erin Stark. Erin, thank you for putting together that fun montage of training photos that we got from the training challenge over the weekend. It was so great to see everyone out there, doing the thing. I loved it so much. So thanks for putting that together. Thanks to everyone for being here. And I want to say thank you to our co-hosts, volunteers, Dennis, Tim, Joel, Kyle, Duncan and Gloria, and Bob. Thanks so much for being on and helping us as staff put this together. And thanks to everyone for joining. We also have a special little welcome message from our celebrity ambassador, one of our celebrity ambassadors for 2025, Chef Bijou Thomas. He's the U.S. National Cycling Team chef. So he was in Paris last year at the Olympics feeding the team, as I'm sure a lot of you tuned in and saw the team competing. He's the author of the co-author of the Feed Zone cookbooks and also host of the Road Less Eaten on Outside TV. So we're going to hear a little message from him.
Hi, welcome everybody to the 2025 Arthritis Foundation Carolina Hills Classic Kickoff. My name is Bijou. I was really hoping to be here live today with you all, but I'm currently driving across country to get back home. I just did a huge event in Monterey, California, where we cooked food for around 8,000 people. So as that might tell you, I'm a chef and I've worked in the cycling world for a long time. Worked with many of the top pro teams and athletes around the world, and most recently was chef of the U.S. Olympic team in Paris. So I'm coming along to do the ride with you because in addition to being the chef, I've also struggled with gout for going on 14 or 15 years now, 2011. And it is brutal, as some of you know. And really, health, diet, cycling, eating, and being aware of the whole thing has been a lifesaver for me. So if I couldn't ride, I'd probably struggle even more. Anyway, looking forward to seeing you all, sharing my story, hearing yours, and see you all in a few months at the Carolina Hills Classic. Bye.
Wow, that's fantastic. Thanks, Shannon, and thanks to Chef Bijou. That was really exciting. Really looking forward to seeing him when we do get to Carolina, which is the first place we're going to see him. As you see on the screen, my name's Dennis Ailing. I am the National Board of Directors Chair and a 20-time recidivist in the California Coast Classic and a first-time rider, honored to be a first-time rider in the Carolina Hills Classic. Along with the California and Carolina co-chairs, Tim, Kyle, Joel, Duncan, Gloria, and Bob, we are really excited to welcome you to our 2025 National Kickoff Call and to share with you why Arthritis Foundation Cycling Experiences are more than just rides, not only for us, but for the nearly 60 million adults and children in the U.S. living with arthritis. So with that, I'd like to introduce President and CEO of the Arthritis Foundation and returning for his fourth California tour and inaugural Carolina Champion Ride participant, Steve Taylor. Steve.
Well, thank you, Dennis, very much. We appreciate the amazing volunteers that help to make the California Coast Classic and the Carolina Hills Classic come to life. So I'm honored to be here. Of course, I love the California Coast Classic, and I know we're all going to fall in love with the Carolinas Hills Classic as well this year. But thrilled to be joining everybody in California for all 8 days this year. I wanted to take a few minutes and just remind us all why we are riding in these tours, as well as what we're raising funds for. This past few weeks, we launched our new 5-year strategic direction at the Arthritis Foundation. It's called Accelerating Possibilities and Promise for the Arthritis Community. There's 2 parts of our plan. The first is focused on more possibilities for today. The second is about a promise for a brighter tomorrow. The more possibilities today are really focused on programs and services and resources that we have available for patients every single day when they're diagnosed, or if they've been diagnosed for 5 or 10 years, like myself, I have gout. These are resources and things to help improve quality of life and make sure that people have those resources necessary to fight their disease. And then the promise for a brighter tomorrow is about making sure we knock down the barriers to care, such things as prior authorization or step therapy legislation that is causing a lack in patients getting on the right medications faster. We also are funding research, over $13 million in research this year that will help discover new insights for us. And then many other areas that we're looking at doing over the next 5 years that will set us up for the next 10 and 20 years for a brighter tomorrow for all of the patients that have arthritis. As Dennis said, there's nearly 60 million people in the US that have a form of arthritis, and hundreds of thousands of children that have juvenile arthritis. The main flagship of our Arthritis Foundation is that we are here to unite and serve the arthritis community today and tomorrow. It's about uniting the group of patients together, bringing them together in various ways, and then, of course, serving all of those in our community, which includes not only those patients, but their caregivers, their family, their friends, as well as healthcare providers, researchers, and anyone in the health ecosystem. So we're very excited about the strategic plan moving forward, and we really appreciate all the funds that you'll be helping raise that will help make a difference for all of those with arthritis in the coming years. Our next speaker I want to talk about a little bit, because on this slide you'll see amplify understanding of arthritis and Arthritis Foundation resources, and Amgen has helped do this in so many ways for the Arthritis Foundation for many, many years. They've been a presenting sponsor of the California Coast Classic and now the Arthritis Foundation Cycling Experience. We would not be able to do not only the events that we do with the 2 tours, but also all the other support they give us for making sure we amplify the understanding of the disease and also amplify all of our amazing patient education resources that are helping patients. And so it's my honor to introduce our next speaker, and I'll be back in a few minutes to continue with some other announcements. But Veronica Moore, who serves as our Director of Advocacy Relations with Amgen. We're thrilled to have you, Veronica, and I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Steve, and thank you to the arthritis community and leadership team. It is an absolute pleasure to be here today on behalf of Amgen, and we are incredibly proud to partner with the Arthritis Foundation and to serve as the presenting sponsor for this year's cycling experience. This partnership is more than just a sponsorship. It's a reflection of Amgen's deep and lasting commitment to the arthritis community, from rheumatoid arthritis to psoriatic arthritis and gout. We recognize these challenges of individuals living with these conditions face every single day. That is why we're dedicated to supporting initiatives that don't just raise awareness, but truly move the needle towards better education, stronger advocacy, and ultimately better outcomes for patients. At Amgen, we are mission-driven and always have a mission to serve patients. That means listening to the community, investing in innovation and science, and showing up like we are this evening with you all. Whether it's through groundbreaking therapies and community partnerships like this one, we're committed to making a meaningful difference in the lives of those affected. The Arthritis Cycling Experience is a perfect example of how we come together, patients, care partners, advocates, industry partners, to show up, to build momentum, and to have a little fun along the way. It's important to celebrate resilience, strength, and progress. So this evening, I would love to thank you to the Arthritis Foundation for your continuous partnership, leadership, and everyone who's riding, cheering, donating, and making this event a success. Amgen is honored to be with you on this journey. So let's keep pedaling forward, everyone. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Veronica, very much. We appreciate Amgen's support, and my normal Zoom round of applause to Amgen for their years of support. Thank you so much. And hopefully, Veronica, maybe I'll be able to join you. Maybe you'll be able to join us in North Carolina for the Carolina Hills Classic and meet me for dinner on Saturday night before the final day. I'll reach out to you. We'd love to have you get to experience the amazing experience that our tours are. But we truly appreciate all that Amgen does for us and the longstanding partnership that we have nationwide for all of our programs and services. It's really because of partnerships like Amgen's, along with those that you see on this page, that help reach more people with arthritis, that help us increase awareness, fund advocacy, fund research, fund patient education programs. And so our sponsors this year for the Arthritis Foundation Cycling Experience are Amgen, Setpoint Medical, Blank Rome, Spec PR, Hyped, GKH Creative and Primal Wear. And on the next slide, you'll see a number of other in-kind sponsors and partners who often support us at rest stops and social hour activities and other fun challenges throughout the year, along with the amazing volunteer base of the California Coast Classic and now the Carolinas Hills Classic. We couldn't do it without our supporters, our sponsors, and our volunteers. And again, another round of applause for all of these amazing supporters of the campaign, and more to come as we get closer to the two events as well. I want to spend a few minutes just talking about two new activities that are going to be happening with the organization this year around the Arthritis Foundation Cycling Experience. We're very excited to launch two new programs, but really it's about connecting patients with the Arthritis Foundation. It's one of our core parts of the organization. And so our two new opportunities that we are launching this year that you can help to connect each other with is first our new Connect group. As many of you know, the Arthritis Foundation Cycling Experience is really a community, and we offer a wonderful culture of camaraderie and team support. If this is your first event, I hope you buckle up because it blew my mind, my first event, being a part of it. It is such an amazing experience to be around such dedicated people that are riding in these tours. You become fast friends with everyone. It will be life-changing, as I've said, when I joined, it was life-changing for me to be part of the California Coast Classic. And so we are excited to be able to continue this year-round with our launching of our new Connect group, which is called the Arthritis Foundation Cycling Connect Group. We have Connect groups in various areas in the Arthritis Foundation for various people with various forms of arthritis. This Cycling Connect group will really bring together and be a space for people who enjoy cycling, but also happen to be living with arthritis. We invite you to learn more on April 22nd, but it will really be an opportunity for us to be able to connect with each other who have arthritis that are cycling, get more support, education, and connections. In addition, our second new announcement today is that we have a new challenge called the Orthopedic Paceline Challenge. Now, as you know, we all ride for better treatments. We're all riding for more research and advocacy. We're riding for our health. We're riding for a world where people with arthritis are living a life without limits. That is our vision statement at the Arthritis Foundation, is having people with arthritis live a life without limits. So along the way, there are so many unsung heroes that have helped to invent treatments, our researchers, companies like Amgen that have changed the game for many arthritis patients. We also have healthcare providers that are helping us along the way as well, to have patients cope with their disease, diagnose their disease, and treat their disease as well. So we have a new Orthopedic Paceline Challenge where we invite you to nominate your orthopedic surgeon who has helped maybe get your quality of life back, or perhaps even get you back on your bike, and help them and encourage them to join us in the pace by nominating them to be a part of our event and clipping in and riding with us, either riding on their own in their hometown or joining us at one of our live events. We'd love to have them, or maybe even being a medical honoree. So you can surely reach out to our amazing Arthritis Foundation Cycling Experience staff, Aaron or Shannon or Debbie, to learn more. I know in the chat, Debbie's going to be dropping in a number of links for these various opportunities, so you can click on that and learn more later. But we're very excited about these two new opportunities. Again, I'm going to turn it over to an amazing, dedicated volunteer for the Arthritis Foundation. And before I turn it over to Eli, first, I want to thank Eli for his years of support for the California Coast Classic. Some of you know Eli. He's been a part of our community for a number of years. And last year, he rode in his first tour. He worked on the tour for many, many years, and last year was able to ride in it. He's also a person that lives with arthritis, and he's really a proof of living and riding without limits. So we are thrilled to have Eli share his story, and then he'll turn it over to the rest of the speakers for the rest of the evening. And I look forward to seeing you all out there on the roads very soon. Thanks so much. Eli, it's off to you.
Thanks, Steve. Yeah, like Steve mentioned, last year was my first year. I was a first-year rider for the California Coast Classic. Hardly my first experience with this event, though. My history with CCC goes back to 2013. At that point, I was 32 years old. I was kind of naive. The extent of my knowledge about arthritis was that it was, in my mind, something that old people dealt with. I didn't really know anything about it, but I was presented with an opportunity to help support a cycling event along the California coast, which sounded like a fun gig to me. I had never done anything like that and thought, yeah, I'll give this a try. By the end of that first tour of 8 days, I was dangerously jumping in and out of a car on a highway, putting up route marking signs and lugging around luggage for 250 people, most of which did not adhere to the suggested weight limits, driving vans at 10 miles per hour down the California coast. I was hooked on this line of work. It was so cool to be able to help people ride their bikes. And while that was a cool line of work, I had learned a little bit about arthritis through this process, how it affects people of all ages. Most tragically, learning about juvenile arthritis, something I had no clue about beforehand. Still, it wasn't something that fully resonated with me. I didn't have a personal connection to arthritis at the time. I wanted to be invited back to the tour the next year simply because of how much fun I had working the event and the people that were there riding, working, volunteering for the event, the community feel of it. Little did I know how much that event would end up becoming such a huge part of my life for the next decade and how personal the cause would become to me. Um, Along with the CCC, I ended up getting into supporting a lot of different events pretty regularly. And in 2015, I supported a co-ed team of cyclists riding in the Race Across America from Oceanside, California to Annapolis, Maryland. We actually broke the co-ed record. It was the most chaotic and stressful 5 days and 20 hours of my life. And when I got to Annapolis, got some well-needed sleep, woke up to go to the airport, and I could barely walk. The last 5 days had been a blur. I didn't know what had happened. I chalked it up to unknowingly spraining my ankle and not really remembering why. So I just kind of went on with my life. The pain subsided after a couple days, and then it came back a few months later. An unexplainable pain in my left ankle, then a third time, each progressively getting a little worse than the last. Finally, in the spring of 2016, I went to a general practitioner who told me that I had gout, and I didn't believe it. Again, I was naive. My interpretation of gout was someone that didn't have a healthy lifestyle, was maybe overweight, ate too much red meat. My wife is an animal lover. We don't have red meat in our house. Someone that drank too much. I have an occasional beer on a weekend, but I wasn't living the lifestyle. And besides that, the doctor basically told me the only thing I could do was reduce the lifestyle, those activities that I wasn't already doing. So I said, all right, I don't believe you. I'm moving on. It's something else. And I had more important things to worry about because that was the year that I launched my own company specializing in producing and supporting cycling events. My first big event was right on the horizon. It was the California Coast Classic. So I kind of just went on with life until finally I got through my first year as the tour director of the CCC successfully, thankfully. And Unfortunately, a couple months later, had a knee surgery, and I was recovering from that knee surgery when my ankle started to bother me again. So I went into an orthopedic this time, said, "What's going on here?" She pulled some fluid out of my ankle and said, "Well, you have pseudo gout." She found a crystal in there that says pseudo gout. Pseudo gout mocks gout, but there's no cure, there's no known cause, there's nothing you can do about it. Made sense to me, so I accepted that. At this point, I basically had seen a general practitioner that told me something that I didn't know much about, didn't believe, in an orthopedic surgeon. But because I live in a small town 3 hours away from an arthritic or a rheumatoid specialist, I just kind of went with their word. Finally, it was, I think, people at the Arthritis Foundation and Shannon specifically who helped me get in touch with Arthritis Foundation or the Arthritis Clinic down in Denver. Um, and as I was there, I was struck with how many people were coming in and out of this facility. And I was told that there's no cure. And I kind of looked at this woman and I said, that might be the case for now, but I know a group of people who will not accept that as a fact and are trying to do some work to make sure that that is not going to be a long-term answer that you can give me. She also didn't really have much to give me other than just medication. Threw some prescriptions at me, said, here you go. I decided I didn't want to take medication for the rest of my life, and I was just gonna keep rolling with it. For 8 years, I kind of just would go through life wondering when my next flare-up would be, hoping it wasn't going to be during the California Coast Classic, but thought if anyone was going to know, was going to kind of understand and be sympathetic to it, it would be the people on the CCC. Luckily, even though there were some close calls a couple of years, I never did have a flare-up on CCC. It was 2022 where I finally had to, for some personal reasons, back away from the work that I love so much. And as I was doing so, I told the riders that I would be back to ride the event, because I knew that this event now had become deeply important to me, not just on a personal level from the relationships, but also because of how it affects me. And it was last spring. I was ramping up my training for my first ride as a CCC rider. Finally, a rheumatologist had moved into our town, had started up a practice, and I finally saw someone that gave me an understanding of what I was going through. She didn't believe the pseudo gout diagnosis, ended up telling me for the first time that I needed to have my blood drawn, gave me the right diagnosis of chronic gout, gave me the medication I need that is the right path forward, and I haven't had a flare up in over 12 months. My takeaway from all of this is that what the work that the Arthritis Foundation, that everyone here is doing, is so important, because arthritis is misunderstood by most, by even doctors that don't know. I heard this in other stories too, that people are underdiagnosed or misdiagnosed for a long time until they see the right person. The work that we're doing, that we're helping to fund, is extremely necessary so that people don't have to suffer more pain than they need to for longer than they need to. And while arthritis doesn't have a cure for now, as I've been told, that we are working towards that. And until that happens, it's important that we never just give into the idea that there's nothing that can be done and that there will never be a cure. This event is hugely important. It's because it's important to the millions of people that suffer from an awful arthritic condition that carries stigma or misunderstanding. And through this event, I've heard horrible stories of dreadful impacts on kids with arthritis. I've heard awe-inspiring stories of people who have used this event as motivation to suffer through painful treatments so that they can participate. And while the mission is so incredibly important to millions of people, including myself, that's really not what's brought me back to the ride. It's not what brought me back last year. It was the people, it's the community, it's the family that the CCC has come to be for me. Sometimes the catering too, it's pretty good. But those are the things that make this event more special than any other cycling event I've been a part of, and I've been a part of many. I've worked with Chef Bijou before. You're gonna love his food and what he does in Carolina. I'm proud to still work with CCC as part of the Leadership Council. CCC 24 was truly an experience of a lifetime for me. And I want to thank all of you for joining the 2025 tour, supporting the millions of arthritis warriors who conquer arthritis every day. Unfortunately, I won't be there for the 25th anniversary of CCC, which I feel conflicted about this year, but I am proud to say that I will be a Ride Your Way participant, and hope to do the North Carolina ride in the future, which is right next to where my in-laws live. So I'm sure I will be out there, and we'll see you all on a bike virtually this year and hopefully in real time in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Eli. That was so great. Thank you so much for sharing your story and speaking from the heart. You're just an amazing member of our community, and we just thank you so much for all you do and all you have done, and super excited that you're going to be a Ride Your Way participant. That's exciting, and thank you very much for that. As we look ahead to the 2025 tours, we'd like to give you a few details, what to expect, some dates, and then we'll allow some time for question and answers, hopefully, at the end. So I'm going to hand it out over to Tim Klepper to take the wheel.
Mute. Thank you, Shannon. And thanks, Eli. As long as I've known you, I don't think I've heard that whole story before, so I really did appreciate it. I am a 24-year participant at California Coast Classic. I'm very proud to say it's a wonderful organization. I'm so glad I'm part of it. I am going to be part of the inaugural Carolina Hills Classic event this year, and I'm excited about it. Looking forward to it. Before we get into too many details, I'd like to introduce to you some wonderful people who comprise the 2025 Leadership Committee. These people plan the year round, starting the day the event closes until the day the next one starts, to advance the mission of the Arthritis Foundation, connect community, facilitate discussion, creative problem solving, and we get some good problems, elevate safety, and amplify the tour's experience. They are Annie Young, Bob Johnson, Carlos Camara, Darren Gonzer, Dennis Ailing, Gloria and Duncan McRae Spencer, Joel Young, Kyle Berg, Mary Gonzer, Rich Reyes, Robin Miselitis, Stephanie Cole, and myself. And as if that weren't enough, our 2025 first-year rider mentors are Amy Lurg, Anna Droge, Audrey Gorel, Blaine Garwood, Cherie Fitzpatrick, Chris Blair, David Patton, Gail McVeigh, Jennifer McGinnis, Joel Young, Kim Miller, Mark Hammer, Pete Staler, Richard Reyes, Ron Morita, Wayne Pollinger. All these people are volunteers to make this ride happen. Thank you, Leadership Committee, Peloton subcommittees, new rider mentors, and tour volunteers who all make up the tour and this incredible rider experience possible. Next up, Kyle.
Hello, hello. My name's Kyle. I've been on tour here. This will be my 13th year. I'm also the host of the What Are We Riding For podcast, which I started a couple years ago in an effort to answer common questions for new riders and provide a bit of a remote relationship bonding experience that the rest of us vets can tap into whenever we want. I'm going to be joining the Carolina Hills Classic this year in a couple of months. I'm very excited about that. And then in addition to all that stuff, I want to share with you some of our rider resources. This is right on the main page where you have signed up for tour. You'll find the Rider Resources Hub. We offer you, there's all sorts of great links on here. There's a fundraising toolkit. There's the media kit, which will give you images and other media to help you with your fundraising. We got a lot of templates out there. There's a link to my podcast. There's a link to the Facebook group, which is very, very active, which is pretty much the only reason I'm on Facebook anymore, is to stay in touch with all of my California Coast Classic family. We have our Instagram link on there, a Strava group, which is great. There's a lot of participation on the Strava group. And then you can follow some riders. And another great thing about following a rider on Strava that's done this before is you can click into their ride history and you can get all of the routes. You can check out all their routes. We usually keep them public. So if you have any question about like an elevation, you can go look at my page on pick a day, CCC day 2, day 3, day 4. And well, there's going to be 13 of them there for you to choose from. And you can see which days I remembered to turn on my Strava and which days I didn't. You can see which days we've had to reroute for some other things. You can see where I may have gotten lost and took a wrong turn and circled back and joined the main route. But that's a great resource for curious, data-driven riders. We also have our Meetup link right there. Meetup is great because all of our training rides are shared there. If the Arthritis Foundation staff smells that one of us is planning a training ride that we haven't shared with the Meetup group, they're very good about getting that information from us and putting on Meetup. The great thing about Meetup is that you don't have to be on it. Meetup pushes emails out to you in your area for what matters to you. Let's see, what else am I forgetting? Yeah, these places are a great place to connect and train with other riders, and keep an eye out for other volunteer-led rides, or feel free to post on your own. The Facebook group is a nice way to socialize, ask questions, and connect. Stay up to date with topics, key dates, and to-dos from the monthly Arthritis Foundation's Experience e-newsletter. You can find rider support resources like fundraising tips, the training calendar, and the travel planner details inside the Rider Resource Hub. Yes, the travel planner is a really big deal. That's going to give you all your information on your hotels, and that usually drops in June. Am I right, Shannon? Or is the travel planner for
It's
Coast Classic
out.
already
It's
up and running?
live. Yeah, get in
Okay,
there.
so you
Get-
can reserve your hotel rooms now. If you want to
Kyle's
grab
a
a hotel
camper.
room, go get that now. Let's see what else we got here. If this is your first tour, you've been assigned a veteran rider as a mentor. Hopefully you've been able to connect with your mentor, as well as other volunteers and participants, as they are great resources and can help answer any questions that pop up throughout the year. And then I'm going to pass it over to Debbie. All right, here's our tour incentives and challenges. So the Grand Club, this gets you priority shipping on your t-shirt when you raise $1,000 by 5/31 to wear all summer long. Everybody gets a t-shirt when you sign up, but most of us have to pick it up at registration. If you hit the Grand Club and raise $1,000 by 5/31, we'll send it to you so you have some swag to wear while you're doing the lion's share of your fundraising through the summer. The Hero Circle is our next level. That's at $4,500. Once you raise $4,500, you get the win jacket. Champions Club is $5,000, which is all of the above, plus a Champions Club pin. And there's a unique one for every year. And this year, we're also getting a custom hyped power pack, which I'm looking forward to. Last year, we got these really great backpacks. A nice, like, duffel size backpack with all sorts of features on it. You'll have to check it out. The Top Fundraisers Club. So if you fundraise $7,500, you are a part of the Top Fundraisers Club and are awarded the famed and coveted orange jersey. The Exchange Club, if you join the Exchange Club, you unlock special perks and connect with the vibrant arthritis cycling community coast to coast. This is a way for people to sign up for both the California Coast Classic and the Carolina Hills Classic, and kind of pool their fundraising resources across multiple events. Challenge accepted. Celebrate the 25th edition of the CCC and accept the 20 to 25 day challenge. Qualify when you raise 20,000 or more, which is cumulative between both of the events. And then you can earn all the above: shooting star prizes and limited edition 2025 keepsakes.
So I think that we have the Grand Club. Joel, were you going to talk about the Grand Club?
Yes, I'll add a couple of things that Kyle didn't mention there. So thanks, Kyle. That Rider Resource Hub is critical. So dive in there as you get a chance. So you've decided to participate in the ride of a lifetime, everyone. So welcome and thank you. And again, hi, I'm Joel Young, and I experienced the magic of the CCC, the California Coast Classic, during my first tour in 2023. I returned again in 2024, and I'll be back for my third consecutive for the 25th anniversary this year again. But I'm really excited to welcome all of you to the Carolina Hills Classic this year, to my home state here in North Carolina. In June. So it'll be a real treat for everybody as we try to roll out our true Southern charm. So as Kyle alluded to, we've rolled out a handful of fun recruitment, fundraising, and training challenges throughout the year to help you reach your fundraising and training goals. I just want to circle back around to the Grand Club. So for those of you who reached the 1,000 mark here by May 31st, you're going to receive priority shipping on your 2025 Ford t-shirt. So congratulations to all of you who have already hit that goal or have surpassed it. And your t-shirts will be arriving in the mail by the end of this month. So look for that. Special thank you to Primal Wear, one of our sponsors, for sponsoring our 2025 Top Fundraisers Club, and Hyped again for sponsoring our 2025 Champions Club. And today's fundraising challenge I'm going to talk about in just a minute, Get Hyped, is coming up, but we'll talk about that here in just a minute. So keep your eye on your email for upcoming training and fundraising challenges throughout the year, and be sure to check out the rider and sponsor recruitment opportunities found in the Rider Resource Hub as well. Every new rider you recruit, you're going to receive $250 fundraising discount. And for every sponsor's door you help open, you can earn additional credit towards your personal fundraising goal, which I'm really excited about. Now, to get back to the Get Hyped fundraising challenge, starting tonight through midnight on Sunday, April 20th, those of you that receive a total of $250 or more in donations can claim your limited edition Carolina Hills Classic or California Coast Classic hat. So they look similar, but the badges there are just a little different. So back to you, Kyle.
Thank you, Joel. You know what? This is one of my favorite parts of being on the leadership committee, is getting a sneak peek at the jerseys for the year. So I'm very excited to share with you this year's tour kit design. Drum roll, please. Starting with the Carolina Hills Classic kit, we're unveiling the inaugural t-shirt. Check it out. Here's the t-shirt. And then we got the rider jersey as well. This is included in your rider package and will be worn on day one. I like that. It's very cool. Got Gavin's B on it and Hills. Very cool. And here's the inaugural Carolina Orange Top Fundraiser jersey to be worn on day 4. Very cool. Next is the 2025 kit for the 25th edition of the California Coast Classic. Here's the t-shirt, inspired by the CCC logo and the rider jersey. Oh, inspired by the CCC logo, the rider jersey is to be worn on day 1 and incorporates the wavy ocean line and the straight skyline. And if you're counting, yes, there are 25 lines representing the 25th edition of the California Coast Classic Tour. And here we have the orange top fundraiser jersey. This was to be worn on day 8. And again, this is for those who surpassed $7,500 in fundraising. And finally, the 2025 Arthritis Foundation Cycling Experience jerseys are available for those Ride Your Way participants who surpass $1,000 in fundraising. And we will announce 2 lucky winners at the end of tonight's call. And for joining tonight's call, it could be yours. Don't forget to check out the team store and secure your add-on tour apparel to add on to your participant's jersey. In 2025, the AFC add-on apparel collection includes bibs, shorts, arm warmers, caps, gloves, and socks, all with AFCE logos and designed to go with either of the event's main tour jerseys in order to make it a complete kit. Please note, riders do not need to order their 2025 participation rider jerseys. Those are done via registration, included in your rider package. And now I'm going to hand it over to Tim for registration and start line kickoff.
I'm back. Registration start line. Thanks, Kyle. Whether you're riding Carolina or California, we look forward to meeting you in Greenville in June or in San Francisco in September for your packet pickup. Participants can pick up their rider packets, drop off their bikes, collect luggage tags, and meet the crew anytime between 1 and 5 p.m. This year, we're bringing back a rider welcome reception in the foyer area of the host hotel, and we'll be sharing additional details in the weeks leading up to the tour. As we rally for a group ride out, participants can pick up hard copy of the Daily Rider Guide, otherwise known as the DRG, and download the day's route through Ride with GPS, which will be released the week before the tour, meaning you can put it on your bicycle computer. Both can also be accessed through the daily e-newsletter, which is emailed to you the night before, along with other pertinent information for the next day's ride. About the route and support. Every day on the tour, you can expect 2 to 3 rest stops, medical, mechanical, and SAG gear support. Whether it's a bump down the road, fixing a flat, or needing a Band-Aid, support vehicles are never very far away. And a special shout out to ITW Global Tire Repair and Set Point Medical, who are volunteering this year on days 5 and 7, and to our rest stop leads and volunteers who have taken the best rest stop award to a whole new level of tasty snack competition. It's really good. Vehicles are marked, and if you need assistance, hold your arm straight out and make a fist. Be sure you hold it there. If the support vehicle passes you by, they are often checking for a safe place to pull over and/or are checking their rearview mirror and side mirrors when passing. If you are in need of a support vehicle, you can always find support contact numbers on the back of your ID card. It's important to note that when riding to a checkpoint, as seen in the photo, and at the end of the day, each day at camp, please check in with the volunteers and provide them with your rider's numbers, which is provided to you for the front and back of your bike. This is important so we keep track of who's in for the day or who's where on the route so we can make sure everybody finishes. Over to Shannon now to talk about camping, hoteling, and finish line.
Not muted. Okay, so we take rider safety very, very seriously. Yep. We're at the yep, okay. Sorry, I'm back. We take everyone's safety very seriously. We always say our jobs are to keep everyone safe, get everyone home, and show everyone a really good time. Kind of in that order, safety comes first. So we do ask that as you make your way to the base camp, now whether that's a hotel on the Carolinas or an actual camp in California, you get into camp and that's your end of day. We ask that you check in by calling out your rider number so we can check you off the list and make sure you're in safe. If that does not happen, if you go directly to dinner, if you go directly to your hotel, we will call you and we will text you until we know that you're safe. So that is one like pro tip to make sure that you let us know when you've completed the route safely. That's very important for us. And for you. Your luggage will arrive at camp or hotel, depending on where you need to be, and where you'll be is where your luggage will be. We have a very good system for getting it to where it needs to go. And then every evening at camp, we have a great gathering. It's sort of a wonderful place to just decompress, get hydrated, have a drink, have a beverage. Between 4 and 6, we'll have like a local winery or brewery come out and pour, and there's non-alcoholic drinks and a few snacks and things around. The evening program usually begins a few minutes before 6. We do a few raffles, we gather people around. You'll hear from a mission ambassador, just like we heard from Eli and heard about his journey today. And we're all riding and doing what we're doing every day for those ambassadors. So it's wonderful to hear them speak in camp. And then we have announcements. We learn about the next day's ride. Again, safety is top of mind. And then dinner is served around 6:30. And then the rest of the evening is yours, probably to get to bed fairly early. But, some people do stay up and have a nightcap or whatnot. So that's kind of what our base camp, hotels, and evening program looks like. Moving on to the finish line celebration. So this is kind of the culmination of all of our work along the route for training, fundraising, doing all of it. It's a moment of celebration and fun and camaraderie. So in the Carolinas will actually be at Unity Park in downtown Greenville. And then in California, we'll be at Alumni Park at Pepperdine University and the Malibu campus. And the group ride-in, the closing ceremonies, it's just so triumphant. The volunteers are there, friends and family are there, and it sort of all comes together and crystallizes as a wonderful moment. So if you haven't been a part of it, just keep looking forward to that. It's going to be wonderful. Up next, I think that puts us almost to the end of the program. So I wanted to just say thank you to all of our wonderful speakers. Thank you to all of our riders who have taken on the challenge for this year. We are truly so excited to have you on board for the ride of a lifetime. Before we get to questions, I think we did promise that we were giving away 2 really great looking AFCE jerseys. And so Erin has spun the wheel in a very fair manner to predict our winners. And they are Cindy, who I believe is on the call, and Sydney. So that's 2, Cindy and Sydney. Cindy De La Maza and Sydney McConnell. Are you both on? Congratulations. So at this time, I'd like to open it up for questions and invite my volunteer friends to come off mute if they can help answer. I certainly, would appreciate, oh my gosh, it's awesome to see everybody. Hi. Do we have any questions from the chat, JZ or Debbie, that we can address?
I saw one earlier.
Let's hear it.
And maybe Joel, this might be a question for you. There was a question about the Strava groups and whether there's a Strava group for Carolina or if it's just one group for the CCC. I think there was an ACE group a while back, but I think it kind of went dormant. So that would be the precursor for the Ride Your Way group. But that's a good question, and I wanted to just kind of vocalize that and remind us to think about how we want to get on those Strava groups. Joel, do you know if there's anything you have going for Carolina on Strava?
Well, I will say that with this being our inaugural year in Carolina, we are making the kind of converting, if you will, our California Facebook page into the Arthritis Experience, which is covering both. With that said, I am also personally doing several training rides that I have put out through Erin Stark, and she's put that out to the groups. And so if you're on the call tonight and you're interested in something here in at least North Carolina where I live, I've got 4 rides going on, 2 here in April, 2 in May, that you're welcome to join me on. So I'll post those on the California Coast Classic Facebook page as well as the Strava group, and so that everybody can see it.
Super, thank you, Joel. I think another question was how we get from base camp to hotel each night. In some cases, they're adjacent, and so you can just, walk across a street or through a parking lot. In other cases, there are a little bit of a distance away, so our SAG vans convert into shuttles between hotel and camp at night for hotelers and for breakfast the next morning. There is a day 0 ride across the Golden Gate. Pete, are you leading that ride this year? Pete's on, right? Usually Pete Staler will lead a group. There's usually one in the morning and sometimes one in the afternoon.
Yeah, we're going to leave the host hotel about 7:30 in the morning. And we're not the only group going across. There's going to be several others. Right now, I think we're the only one that posted on Meetup. But there'll be several different groups going across the bridge that day. Not everybody comes in the day early. So there's lots of opportunities to do that. But just know that it's not a sanctioned ride that's covered by the CCC. We do this on our own, but I'll tell you what, it's well worth the trip over, and the picture taking is amazing. So you'll be able to hook up as we get closer. There'll be more people posting the different rides. So
yeah, it's hard to imagine doing a California coast ride without going over the Golden Gate. But the fact of the matter is we start in San Francisco. We don't start in Sausalito. And day 1 is a long day. So you're not going to have time to divert over the bridge and back. So if you want to ride over the bridge, make sure you do it on day 0.
There you go.
Then I think Gail asked if there's a CHC day 0 ride. Joel, I think that's to you.
Yes, I was gonna jump in there, but thanks, Shannon, for that. We're gonna do a day 0 ride from downtown Greenville, the host hotel, up to Paris Mountain. It's one of the routes that I wanted to suggest that we do. We ended up not being able to do that, so we're gonna do an unofficial ride on day 0 up to Paris Mountain. It's not very far, it's not steep, hence the name Paris Mountain. So don't be afraid, it'll be a great short day 0 unofficial ride at the Carolina Hills Classic.
Thank you, Joel. I have a couple of questions pertaining to hotel accommodations. So I'll clarify quickly that the Carolina Hills Classic, your hotels are included. We will book you. If you've chosen to have a single room supplement, then we do need to collect that single room surplus fee. There are ways to do that. You can just contact us if you're not sure or consult the travel planner. For the California Coast Classic, the travel planner is out, it's live, and I would recommend booking as soon as possible. Every year we sell out, and you know, there's a lot of high demand, so just make sure that you book as soon as you possibly can. If anyone needs guidance or has questions, feel free to contact Debbie, myself, Erin offline, and we can assist. If we need to change jersey size, how soon do we need to do that? Like this week for Carolina, and I would say by like June, middle of June for California. Debbie, is that right? Am I missing any additional questions? And you guys can feel free to come off mute and don't be shy. I know that we talked a lot at you. What about dietary restrictions? Okay, so that's a great one. Thank you, Stephanie. On California, we have a pretty big variety of food that's made and served, and it accommodates gluten-free, vegan, vegetarian very, very nicely. So I think, you know, there's plentiful choices. We also take care to make sure that we have like a clean peanut butter that's for gluten-free riders at our rest stops. For Carolina, there is a place to put in on when you register if you do have dietary restrictions, and we'll kind of be going off of that in terms of making sure that we have everyone sorted. So either way, if you want to reach out about that, we definitely want to make sure that everyone's getting plenty of nutrition, that you're fueled for your ride. I know it can be really tough if you do have like a restricted diet. So feel free to reach out to myself, Erin, and we can help out with that, or Debbie, obviously. The granola kicks butt. I mean, you heard it here, folks. I love that. Thanks, Beverly. Okay, and I did get the dates correct. Any other questions? Comments?
I don't have a question, but I have a comment. First year riders, we want just to be the very best experience that you can possibly have and meet all your expectations. You can help with that immensely by engaging as early as possible. Find somebody to talk to, call Shannon and Aaron, call anybody on the leadership committee, call any friend that you know that's done the CCC before, get the information you're looking for, get started on training, get started on fundraising. The earlier you do these things, the more prepared you are, the better chance you have of making this just a fabulous experience for yourself. And that's what we want for you. And we're here to help you.
Thank you, Tim. That's great. Lorenzo, we will have Liquid IV as well as some other products from our sponsors. So I know everyone's a little bit different on what they like, so we try to have a little bit of a variety, but I was emailing with the Liquid IV team yesterday, actually, so that looks good for us. PCH, our route to PCH on day 8 for the California ride, we stopped at Pepperdine. So it's a bit north of the area that was really impacted by the Palisades fire. So that looks good. Currently, PCH is closed. Like if you were to go in MapQuest, like from Pepperdine to LAX, for example, to see what your route would be after you depart, it is closed, but it's meant to reopen next month. So all of that, long story short, it should not impact the ride. Might not be the most beautiful views on our way to the airport, but the ride will be great. Pepperdine was spectacular last year, and we're really excited to go back again. So that all is looking really, really good. We're grateful for that. Let's see. Oh, and Erin actually just dropped in the chat that we are having a fundraising office hours. It is next week on the 23rd. That is Tuesday? I don't know dates. Wednesday, sorry. At 4 p.m. Pacific time. You can register for it or reach out to us. But basically, we wanted to just make sure that we're addressing any fundraising concerns, questions, if you need tactics, if you just need a way to get started and jump in, you're not really sure where to start. You feel like maybe it's a weird time to ask. I mean, we talked about that with our leadership committee for CCC earlier today. So it won't just be me and the staff. We'll have some of our volunteers who've raised, high dollar funds year after year to share their pro tips. So please join us. And if you're not available for that, let us know. We'll set up a customized session with you and work through your network and a strategy that really works for you. Please don't let fundraising be the thing that keeps you from doing this amazing ride. Everyone can do it. If you're willing to ask, we will help you and we'll design a plan and we will get you there. And don't let that be the training either, because you've got that as well. Like we are here, we have a lot of resources. As Tim said, you can reach out to any of us or the volunteers and we'll get you to the start line. That's our job. That's what we do every day. And we're really good at it. So don't be afraid to ask. We also are asking for our favorite rest stop snacks, so feel free to ping us with those. We'll do our very best. Thank you, Erica. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
There was a question about, are we still looking for volunteers in the Carolinas? The answer is yes.
100% yes.
So please connect with any of us on the leadership team and we can work with individuals or groups or whatever you might be thinking of. So
yes, Joel says you're hired.
Absolutely.